What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite pond, the Coy Pond, episode 82. And I cannot believe I'm saying this. We are officially at, as of right now, 99 subscribers.
Wow.
How about them apples? As you guys know, you find us here on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and as always, leave your question at SpeakPipe. We will answer any and every question you have this offseason about us or NFL. You never know. I don't blame you. But yeah, we made it to 99 subscribers. You guys have been absolutely crazy. Appreciate all of the love. It has been it's been nuts. I never really expected any of these videos to do this well when we're just talking way too early season. Not to mention, chatting with all of you in the comments has been a blast. There's been some really good discussions back and forth about the Falcons, the Cardinals, the Packers, a couple other teams I'm probably forgetting. But Lord knows I watch those like a hawk, and I love just discussing the different sort of rankings and whatnot that you can have in the preseason, way too early season. So thank you all so much. And as a little token of our great thankfulness, I kind of lost the words along the way.
Appreciation.
Appreciation.
Yeah.
There it is.
And I'm a little bit nervous now.
Yeah,
I have the set feels different today.
It feels a little bit more live.
Doesn't it?
It feels.
I mean, it feels like there's actually someone on the other side of the camera.
I know.
If there's a little red light on top, I'd probably wet my pants.
I know, and the sweet irony is, if not to sidetrack, if you guys go back and look at any of the early ones we did as a complete joke, it's so different than it is now. It's still what we want to do, and we just do this for us because we need it after weeks like the weeks we've had recently. But oh my god, it's just crazy. I thank you guys so much. It's awesome just to have a conversation.
I mean, you just can't say it enough, and Colin just did, but ditto. I mean, it's so much fun to get on here and talk about what we love and what all you love too and are interested in. And so, 99 subscribers.
Yep.
So had just a little idea hit me on the drive to the studio. And so we are going to do a giveaway.
Yes.
And you want to give the particulars at least on like the amount and how that's going to work?
So it'll be on the Coy Pond merch website is what we're giving away, up to $50 value. So if you want a hat and a shirt, if you want a nice sweatshirt, a nice golf shirt, and a fanny pack, there's a lot to pick from in there, honest to God. And we can customize a little bit. I know the logo on the main merch is, huge in the middle. We can get that put in the top left if you prefer. Or something a little bit more minimal, but it still looks nice and it's clean.
To wear it out and about and what have you.
But for the contest, we'll be doing up to $50, any combination.
Don't worry about the freight. We'll take care of that too.
Yeah,
so
just base value off the website.
50 pond bucks.
50 pond bucks. I kind of love that.
You got it.
But the contest.
Yes. And so it's very exciting.
Yes.
Because ever since I was a little kid, I used to go to my grandmother's and she would have something different, like a new figurine on her mantle or something.
Yep.
And I used to love what's different, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the contest is the first one to respond.
Yeah, first one to comment correctly.
Yep. Of the 4 different new things in the pond is the winner.
Yes, first one to do it. So I'll watch it. I'll watch for the timestamps, and if there's a tie, we'll get to that. I don't really suspect there being one, but if there is, we'll deal with it. But if you're the first one to do it right, I'll say something in the comments, the winner, and I'll get in contact with you. Whatever's the best way for you, I don't mind. And we'll go through it and figure it out, and we'll get it shipped out to you.
Yeah.
So pretty exciting.
That's it. Yeah.
First contest on the YouTube.
Yep. And that is a thank you to all of you, as we no doubt go somewhere between this week and next week to 100 subscribers.
Projectedly.
What did we have last week to get to this? Did we gain 8 this week?
We gained about 1/10 of our subscribers in the past week.
In 1 week. It's been amazing.
It's been awesome.
Yeah. We're blown away.
Yes, I think our texts back and forth for the last few days have literally just been us setting the count back and forth to each other as it's climbed. It's been really cool. But yeah, so have fun with the giveaway.
Yeah.
Check out the merch store if you haven't already. Obviously, I'm not going to need to talk about it any more than we already have.
Yep. Find those items.
Yes, and thank you all again.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And
all right,
little golf story.
Yeah, without further ado, we'll go to the. So had the what I want to say the pleasure last Friday of going to the Memorial Golf Tournament in Columbus, Ohio, and Omar and I were guests of Farmers Merchants Bank, which had a wonderful hospitality house. It was a great day, even though it rained the whole day. Didn't matter. But we found ourselves, I wore my Cowboys hat
Yep.
and a baseball cap, and I did that on purpose because Scotty Scheffler, Tony Finau, Jordan Spieth are all from Dallas.
Right.
And I don't know if I think they're all Cowboys fans. Maybe they're all not, but I thought maybe that would get me a thumbs up or something like that.
Slight acknowledgement.
But it was an awful lot of fun, and I told Colin, even got it interviewed by Channel 10 in Columbus. They're like, you're out here drenched, no umbrella, kind of a rain jacket, but big smile on your face. Are you still enjoying this in the rain? And it was like, hell yes. I mean, to get that close to golfers and to be able to, I mean, Jordan Spieth was 10 feet from me.
Right.
I mean, and many other golfers as well. So it was very exciting. But the one thing that we really enjoyed was coming across a gentleman that I met named Al, who I believe is a subscriber now, had a Cardinal hoodie on. And as we were at the hospitality house watching the golfers go by, all of a sudden we broke out into a conversation about the NFL and our teams and what do we think. And we had a Steelers fan there. We had a Cowboys fan besides me there.
Right.
We had a Cardinals fan. And I think we signed up 3 people while we were standing there to the subscriber base. It just had a great discussion about what do you think for this year and what's happening and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, I talked to Colin a little bit later. I'm like, holy shit, dude. I think I found the nexus of like our fan base is, and it makes sense. Golfers and pro football. Maybe there's some overlap there.
Could see it.
Like Colin said, what else are you going to do when there's no pro football? You got baseball and those kind of things.
NBA, whatnot.
But golf is right in there too, and it seems like there may be some overlap to it.
Without a doubt. And it's kind of, you got hockey, basketball, baseball, football, and then golf is kind of its own entity, I would think. It's not as similar. It's not a team game.
It's different.
It's a mental thing, and it's a great Sunday nap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Very few things beat it harder, but that hilarious story. And only you would find create a table in a group of NFL guys talking football while at the golf tournament on the practice round.
And again, it was just such a fun time, and it just hit me. I mean, and then this week with all you guys responding and subscribing, it's just been a great week for the Coy Pond.
A fucking amazing week.
Yeah.
So, nevertheless, this week,
without further ado,
yes, we are talking way too early projected season award picks. The odds are out. It's always fun to kind of, what do you think? What are the odds now? They're going to be totally different in week 8 of this season, more than likely. It's impossible to know. We've only taken the top 6 of each category. We're not going to beat this to death because it is so damn early to be talking about awards.
And that's the best part about it is it's just like the draft. I mean, it's so early to determine winners and losers that you really can't be wrong yet.
You can't be wrong, and there's no way to prove you're going to be right.
So it's a great time to make predictions because it's going to be a long time until these be proven out. And more than likely, no one's going to remember what I say right now.
No, and we...
including myself.
Well, just wait until our fantasy rankings come out. That was a hot take last year.
Oh, hot damn, yeah.
We'll be coming out with that very soon to anybody that's looking to clown on us. But regardless... it's just fun. As you guys probably can tell from the channel so far, we've loved just talking way too early 2025, 26 predictions. They've been so much fun. Without further ado.
Yep.
Offensive Rookie of the Year this upcoming season. In the lead right now, or favorited, I should say, we have Ashton Genty, Cameron Ward, Travis Hunter, Tet McMillan. I'm just going to say that for sake of everything.
Yep.
Tyler Show, Amari, and Hampton. This is hilarious that the quarterback that the Saints drafted is number 5 in my opinion. Because when I think about that team right now, I don't know how they have much success. I would say Offensive Rookie of the Years typically don't need to have a winning team to win the award like you would some of these other awards we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yep.
But you need to be a standout guy, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's going to be very challenging. I mean, and that's the one that struck us when we looked at the list. And I just think the Saints are going to have a challenging year.
It's
no
not
matter
gonna be
who's
easy.
the quarterback there.
I completely agree.
There's just no slam dunk.
There isn't. And, Ashton Genty, amazing running back.
Could see that one easily.
He should have a really good year.
Yeah.
He's at plus 250 as the favorite. Cameron Ward on the Titans. As second
risky.
favorite, that feels like not worth the reward at plus 350. It's the Titans. They do have Tyler Lockett. They do have Tony Pollard. They have Calvin Ridley. I don't know if that line's really improved all that much. I'm not expecting big things when Cameron Ward's learning from Will Levis. I'd almost argue it's probably Cameron Ward's teaching Will Levis based on the first 4 weeks of last year.
I would bet.
So I don't know if I love that value personally.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, plus 950. Do you take a flyer on him potentially being a standout wide receiver?
Yeah. And they've already made it clear that receivers where he's going to start at.
Okay.
The OTAs, they didn't even cover anything, I think, on cornerback play. You wonder if they try to do that, is it going to take away from him being effective all the way as a receiver? Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, essentially,
maybe he's the kind of guy that excels when he's doing everything.
Maybe he feels better, feels more in the game. I mean, he's basically just playing wide receiver for two sides,
right?
And you're just hoping he gets a couple picks on the other side.
Personally, of who you mentioned so far, Genty and I would say Hunter are my two favorites.
I know, and Travis Hunter is a phenomenal athlete, without a doubt. It's wild what he does. I'm curious how they use him.
That's the key.
That's what I'm
right.
hesitant on.
Yep.
And I think there was a video that came out yesterday or today as we're shooting this of him intercepting a pass in practice.
Oh, no kidding.
So he got a couple reps, I guess, or maybe he was I don't want
playing around
playing around something.
But Liam Cohen, I mean, he's a creative offensive guy.
Is.
And all they got to do is get the ball in his hands.
Exactly.
And he's a playmaker.
You would imagine with Trevor Lawrence, they'll figure out a way to make that work somehow.
Yeah.
But it's Trevor Lawrence. He has not had an exactly phenomenal career so far. Tyler Show, we spoke our piece. I see nothing there. Now, my value pick as complete biased Chargers fan, and I understand I am drinking the Kool-Aid out of the gate, Omarion Hampton, plus 1,400. Jim Harbaugh is going to be running the damn ball. I really think there's some value in sprinkling $5 or whatever your half unit, quarter unit is, at plus 1,400 early on him to potentially win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Only because the running game, they struggled establishing the passing game. The J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards got hurt last year at different times throughout the season. I think they're going to really work on trying to get the run game working with the Chargers this year.
Yeah.
And I think Hampton is going to be a major role considering how they reached for him in the draft.
There was a running back in I think it was the early 90s. Played for the Giants, Rodney Hampton.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any. I haven't had a chance to look. Don't know if they're related.
Yeah.
Size-wise, they're very similar. Player-wise, they're very similar. Mm-hmm. That guy, I think Bill Parcells or whoever it was at the time used to run that guy down everyone's throat. I don't know if that was him or the coach after. But anyway, I could totally see Harbaugh, this guy having a massive amount of carries, 350, 400 carries, and having like 1,500 rushing yards.
And, the Chargers haven't had a running back in that organization in a while.
Yeah.
Melvin Gordon tried to do it. He didn't do a bad job his first couple seasons with the Chargers. Austin Eckler wasn't the answer. He was a catching running back with them at least. He had his good runs. He had his bad ones as well.
Yeah.
And, you get J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards. They drafted Vidal last year. I was hoping he'd be a little bit more, but they didn't use him quite as much.
Yeah.
I'm sipping the Kool-Aid. I need one of you to talk me off the ledge. I've already put 5 on it.
I think it's a great bet. I think it was a great pick, and I think it's going to fit them really well.
And to be clear, I fully expect Genty to win this award. I just don't hate the idea of taking a flyer on it, just to be clear.
Exactly. And the Giants coach I was trying to think of there, Tom Coughlin, by the way.
There you go.
Not sure if it was Parcells or Coughlin, but
hey, legendary coach either way.
Didn't want to diss the Giants.
Now, sticking with the rookies, defensive rookies of the year. Just running down the list of favorites, I'll have a screenshot up for all this. Abdul Carter, Jalen Walker, Kill Williams, Travis Hunter, Shamir Stewart, Mason Graham. There's just a crazy drop-off from Carter, Walker to Williams. 250, 700, 1,000. It's pretty implied that Abdul Carter should win this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, I don't hate Jalen Walker. Right out of the gate, the Falcons fan that was in the comments, you've got me again, you son of a gun. Jeff Ulbrich comes over to the Falcons.
Yep.
They've only been a couple years removed of having a very good defense that took them to the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
Yep.
Injury robbed them of some opportunities there. Don't need to flash back to that. But will some of these second-year players step up and give a rookie a chance to really make some plays? Perhaps.
Jalen Walker is a hell of a, and when we were doing the draft shows, I really like him.
You do.
And he's gonna do just fine.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Abdul Carter with Thibodeau, I like that a lot.
Gonna be very good.
Giants, I feel like maybe not this year putting together a playoff run, but they're not that far away.
No.
It feels like, everybody's back on Neighbors being an electric wide receiver. Say what you want about him last season. The quarterback situation there has been terrible for years, and now they got Jackson Dart. If he really is as good as...
You got Russell Wilson that could win some games in the meantime.
And, I mean, you've got Jameson Williams.
Jameis Winston.
Yeah, Jameis Winston, the hype-up man of the year. Mm-hmm. I mean, the locker room's going to be full of fun and God with Russell Wilson and him. As for Shamar Stewart with the Bengals...
I'm shocked to see him that high.
I am too a little bit. I don't think he's a bad player.
No.
The situation with the Bengals and their defense, again, I'm not convinced it's going to be anything.
They're going to have, again, the Power 3 are going to have to outscore everybody. And we went on record saying, teams that didn't make the playoffs, Cincinnati being one of them that we think will make the playoffs, but I don't know, maybe.
Right now, I wouldn't feel good about it.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, same thing.
Right.
Two-way player. We need to see how he plays. It's hilarious that he's on both lists at almost the exact same value. Clearly, the Bucs are just kind of adjusting for where they think he might land. I'm curious how to use him. I don't want to speak out of my ass. I have no idea how they're going to make that work.
Yeah, and I still say Cleveland fucked up on that. I still think generational talents. Jimmy Johnson said it repeatedly. You never pass on You can't get enough picks to make up for generational talent. That's my only critique of the Browns.
And the only way the Browns look even better is they had reinvested those picks, and they would need Travis Hunter to bust, and that doesn't feel like a great idea right now to bet on.
Maybe.
It would take a lot for that to happen, I feel like. Mikael Williams to the 49ers.
Oh.
I mean, I don't hate that flyer.
So, talk to Niners fans at the Memorial, too.
Here we go.
In fact, I think as we were walking from the parking lot to the practice, the driving range, two guys walking by. One guy had a Niners hat. He goes, "Fuck the Cowboys," and the other guy goes, "Go Dallas."
Oh, there you go.
And I turned around and I said, "Just so you're talking about us, good news, bad news, I don't care.
Just keep us in the news.
Keep us relevant."
Keep us in the news.
I think the Niners are going to be one of the comeback teams of the year.
I could see it.
I think Purdy's going to be good. I think Christian McCaffrey's going to be excellent. I think they got better across the board. Salah's back at the defensive coordinator.
That's the piece.
And this Mikael Williams guy, I think is going to be a defensive rookie of the year.
I like him a lot for it.
Smart player.
Salah's back. Clearly, we had I think I had my fun with him as a Jets head coach.
Yeah.
It clearly didn't work out.
Yeah.
But he's back to where he was comfortable and quote-unquote great.
Yep.
With the 49ers.
And it's saying a lot that a Cowboys fan is hyping the Niners.
Yeah, it does say a lot. And for the record, I don't hate Mason Graham on the Browns.
Not bad
of
either.
Myles Garrett.
Oh.
I just don't have faith in the Browns. It feels like if that team does do bad enough, they might not give him an award.
That defensive line could wreck some players, though.
If they hurt enough people,
you know what I mean?
There might be an investigation for bounty program.
Let's keep track of that this year. How many starting offensive players they knock, like running back, lineman, quarterback?
Yeah.
How many they knock out for the year?
I agree. I'm gonna pick Mason Graham just to have a different pick than you.
I like it.
I could see it potentially. Of course, the Browns have like a number 1 defense again and the number 32 offense.
Yeah,
I could totally see that for this season.
Did we fully declare our offensive rookies?
I took Hampton.
Okay, and I took Travis Hunter.
There you go.
Just on the record.
Just on record.
Yeah.
All right. Offensive Player of the Year.
Oh yeah.
The fun begins.
Yes.
The bets begin. Saquon Barkley is the favorite by a bit. Jamar Chase, then Gibbs, Henry, Jefferson, Collins. Nico Collins being on there is kind of crazy.
That's very interesting.
I don't know if I was expecting him at 6. There could be more players after that tied because there's 3 on this list at plus 1,400. So maybe I'll show the extended list because we're just looking at what I've got on my phone right now. Saquon Barkley, that makes total sense. He almost won MVP last year.
Yep.
I can't even deny that he will still probably be amazing. I don't think that Eagles offensive line has changed much, if at all.
No.
I think
they got better.
Back. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they got better.
Jamar Chase, I called him being wide receiver 1 last year in fantasy. With him, with a healthy Burrow, there's no question that man might put up 5 touchdowns in a game this year.
Could totally see it.
Wreck a team.
Yeah.
Jamar Gibbs, phenomenal running back. They're all on this list for a reason. He did get injured last year.
He did.
For a couple weeks.
I think so.
It was a slight.
I think that's
just
right.
a little bit. I'll fact check myself.
Either that or Montgomery was.
It might both been.
One or the other? Okay.
Let me look on that. That would be the only thing that would hold me immediately up. Derrick Henry, a beast. He's getting up there.
Mm-hmm. Over 30 now.
And I don't want to beat the drum of every other, not sports personality, because we just hit 100 subscribers, but I don't want to sound like a broken record, but there's a point.
Yeah.
There's a point where it's not the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we're getting close with Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a crazy statement to make after the season
for
he
him
just
to
had.
decline. Yeah. Yep.
I don't know if I'm nuts for that. Justin Jefferson, still doing it, but with a rookie quarterback.
Yep.
I would say that could be a value pick.
Could be. Yeah.
You're banking on J.J. McCarthy.
Yes.
Sam Darnold, regular season warrior. Clearly proven, but also proved that anybody can play offense on that Vikings team well.
That's impressive, too.
And if Sam Darnold tanks on the Seahawks, we'll only be talking more about how good that Vikings offense is, probably.
Exactly.
Nico Collins at the end of that at plus 1,400. I'm assuming there's more people tied there, and he's just probably the name that's at the top of this.
Yep.
He could have a phenomenal year with C.J. Stroud. It was Tank Dell that's out for the season, I'm assuming, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so Nico Collins, he's open down there. Fuck it, he's down there somewhere type of guy, without a doubt. Off this list particularly, I really like Justin Jefferson as a value pick.
Yeah.
But realistically, Saquon Barkley at plus 550 is pretty good.
Yeah. And I my guy's not even on the list, so I got to go off the board. I'm going with Jade Daniels.
Daniels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quarterback for the Redskin Commanders. Yeah. So I think he's bulked up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times you get a sophomore slump, but I think this guy's different.
Well,
and I think the team around him is different and actually got better.
They got drastically better. I would also say no one's won the NFC East twice.
Right.
So are the Commanders poised to do it this year? Because it's been, 20-something years now?
20-something years.
And it's like...
It's crazy.
Every year everyone's like, well, it couldn't. They'll run it back. They don't.
No.
Something happens to whatever team was in the lead last year.
Yep.
Everyone hates Jalen Hurts even though he wins a Super Bowl.
Right.
Myself included. I could see it. I don't hate... That could be a really good pick. If I don't have the odds up here, I'll show you what his odds are. But they're higher than plus 1,400. I don't hate that at all. So my guess why he's not higher is his MVP odds are probably higher.
Okay.
We haven't gotten there yet. That would be my guess.
Got it.
I'm going to go Justin Jefferson. Frankly, I don't think you can go wrong with any of these odds this early. I'm assuming it's a lot of guessing on who's going to get hurt, who's not going to get hurt,
True.
Who plays a whole season, who doesn't.
Yep.
And does Offensive Player of the Year usually ride on whose team is better?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I don't think it does.
I didn't think it mattered as much. On to Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes.
If I can find my screenshot of that.
I know who was at the top.
Yes. Oh, there we go. All right, Defensive Player of the Year award. Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, Aiden Hutchinson, TJ Watt, Max Crosby, Will Anderson Jr. Not a lot of variance between it. The top guy, the most favorited players, plus 650. The biggest underdog out of the 6 is plus 1,300. I don't know which way I want to go with this. Myles Garrett is without a doubt a home wrecker. Micah Parsons knows how to catch a damn ball.
Yeah.
TJ Watt should be back and electric, but he has had some injuries.
Yeah,
he
did. Yep.
Aiden Hutchinson broke his leg in half, clearly. Max Crosby on the Raiders. He's a phenomenal player. He wrecks the Chargers sometimes.
Yeah.
Will Anderson Jr., proven veteran, without a doubt.
Falcons?
Texans.
Texans.
This one feels like a crapshoot a little bit. Out of the gate, I like Aiden Hutchinson for a different award, potentially.
Yep.
But him at plus 900 is not terrible if he can repeat that season, but coming back off an injury. Maybe it takes him a few extra weeks to get back up to speed after the Lions did draft a defensive tackle in the first round. It kind of accounted for that. I kind of like Micah Parsons here.
Yeah.
It's hard to hate it. Myles Garrett, nothing against him. He has that crazy costume every Halloween of every quarterback he's ever sacked. I think it is on the tombstones or the headstones. TJ Watt just gives me, I don't know. I have no rhyme or reason to love or hate him. I'm just simply a little, I don't know if I want it.
Sure.
I kind of like Micah Parsons.
I don't dislike that at all, obviously. I'm going to go with Myles Garrett.
Okay.
With his new Mason Graham buddy. The two of them together.
Put
those. But my sleeper pick, and I guess I'll do that, who's likely, and here's my sleeper pick, Jordan Davis for the Eagles.
Oh.
Defensive tackle.
Right.
Massively disruptive guy inside.
Okay.
And you don't get a lot of flash, so that's why they don't get the award.
Right.
I think this is going to be a different year for him.
Really?
And he was showing flashes of it last year. I mean, this guy was like diving through the legs of the center when a quarterback is trying to spike the ball to stop the clock, trying to pick it off.
That was a crazy one.
He is just a different breed.
Yep.
And he's going to come up with some shit that's never happened before that defensive linemen have not done. I feel it coming.
Okay. You know what? I'll give out a sleeper pick for this just because I keep saying his name. Jalen Verse.
Yeah.
I feel like he found himself in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If he can keep that up and they start realizing how they can use him, I think he could have a phenomenal season this year on the Rams.
All right.
But that's one more.
Yeah, that guy's crazy good.
There's some great options for Defensive Player of the Year. And
it's
hard. It feels like you could almost roll the dice with any of them and get pretty close at the end.
I think so.
All right. On to the best award, or one of the favorites, MVP.
Yep.
All right. Right now, as it stands, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Jane Daniels, and then steep drop to Justin Herbert.
Wow, okay.
Which I don't blame him for after what that season looked like last year.
And no Jalen Hurts.
Not in the top 6 that are viewable.
Okay.
His odds might be plus 2,000 with Justin Herbert, and there's just like 5 guys there. We're early enough in the season they've gotten a little lazy, but there's only a plus 350 difference between Lamar Jackson and Jane Daniels. So they're projecting a tight race between the 5 of them. Josh Allen won it last year. Was it Lamar Jackson the year before?
I think so.
And then was it Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers twice? I was looking at it. It's something along those lines. I'll put it up here so I don't sound quite as stupid. I'm not looking at it right now. But, okay. Pick your best team with your best quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, up front, I got to go with Josh Allen. The guy is just all world for that team.
It is.
He's going to do it again. You know he is.
And it felt like they've only gotten better.
Yeah.
The wide receiver thing that I might have beat the drum of last year doesn't exist. He's still got Kincaid and Knox.
And even though they can't get over the hump, the guy is still going to give it all.
Yep.
Like he always does. Sell out his whole body and soul and heart.
Yep.
Yep.
And I think this is probably a hot take. Sorry, Chiefs fans. But Patrick Mahomes' regular season, he's got Rashee Rice back this year. I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't love it. I think they finally, like I've been saying, they entered their Patriots era. I don't think he has to put up crazy numbers to win a game. I think he can do enough, and they win games, and it's not a problem. Last year, they got away with a lot of those games. This year, maybe not as many.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be bad. I just don't love him for MVP.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, I mean, damn. He's a demon on a good team, but Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
He's just hanging back there. He has to put up MVP numbers this year.
Yeah.
He was in the MVP contention on a terrible team last year. Not terrible team. On a not as well. The record wasn't as good as the rest of the MVP leaders. If he has those same numbers on a team that goes 11-6, maybe more like 12-5, much different conversation. And now that there's no problem with is T. Higgins back, is Jamar Chase back, Yosivas, the tight end that I can't think of the name of right now, they're all back. Chase Brown, they didn't really have a running game at the beginning last year. I don't think Zach Moss ended up being someone they really loved, but then they found Chase Brown, who ended up being a demon. I kind of love Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
That might be a hot take, but I
think that's a good pick, honestly. I really do.
Lamar Jackson, I don't see anything wrong. I don't hate him for it, of course. Any of these guys could win it.
Sure.
I just love Joe Burrow for that one this year. I feel like they're kind of doing the rotation to just pop off for no reason and to stay in the games. They're going to have to put up crazy numbers. And they've got crazy wide receivers.
Yep.
I'm going to go Joe Burrow.
I'm with you. I think that's good.
It would be hilarious to see Saquon finish like second or third in this MVP race again.
Yeah.
I am rooting for a position player to eventually win this, even if it's Jamar Chase instead of Joe Burrow,
right?
Which you really can't have instead of the other, but it'd be crazy if that happened.
It would be.
I would love that. Those are our picks. Don't take it too hard. It could it'll wildly change between now and probably the beginning of the regular season. But now the absolute best award of all of them, the Coy Award, Coach of the Year on the Coy Pond. It doesn't get any better than this.
It's our award.
It's our award. We came up with it.
There it is, right there.
This award. This is what it's all about. Now, I couldn't find these odds on a legitimate sports book. We found them on VegasInsider.com, so take them with a grain of salt. I have no idea how accurate these are, but it's just to give us kind of an idea of where everyone's standing. In the top 4, Ben Johnson for the Bears, Mike Vrabel for the Patriots, Liam Cohen for the Jaguars, Kellen Moore for the Saints. I can just say right now, and I think you agree with me on this, I'm just wiping the Saints off all of my awards. I don't know what that team looks like, and Kellen Moore is going to have to do something magical that I'm not sure he's capable of.
Yeah, there's got to be some serious-ass creativity. I don't doubt he will do a good job with what he has. That's a big ask.
And, Dan Quinn did it with the Commanders.
A lot more talent, I would say.
A lot more talent.
Yep.
But they were in a doomsday situation when he got there.
Right.
Same thing with Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
You might find out right now who was the problem on that Cowboys coaching staff 3 years ago.
Could be.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
This upcoming season. Liam Cohen with the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Hunter, generational talent. They still have that running back that I'm blanking on, that brothers just got drafted.
Etienne.
Thank you.
Yep.
Great defensive line still, I think.
I think so.
Mike Vrabel with the Patriots.
How can you not like that?
How can you not be poetic about football?
He makes me think of Bill Parcells. And back in the day, Bill Parcells he was the turnaround guy.
Right.
And he would go to a team. Jim Harbaugh's the same way, but these guys, they'd get it. It may not be spectacular. And Vrabel kind of reminds me of that. But they're gonna win. They're gonna make the playoffs, and they'll probably lose the game.
Yeah.
But in 1 year to do that was really impressive for how shitty they were before.
Completely agree.
And Vrabel is Patriot blood through and through. The guy is tough as nails.
It feels a little bit more personal.
Drake May, I think they're hitting it off well. They've got enough talent there that if it gets put together the right way, the Vrabel way, they'll win enough games to get a wild card berth, and they'll get in the tournament.
He had Tannehill as a 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, he gets it out of his players.
And Coach of the Year does not mean they went on to win X amount of games or playoffs or whatever. It's basically kind of like most improved team mixed with the best stats.
That's a huge thing. I mean, going from like worst to playoffs.
Yep. And same with Ben Johnson. I don't know what to expect from him. They had a kind of a funky draft.
Yeah.
Obviously, some things screwed it up for him. He's a quirky fellow based on the social media stuff we've seen. Offensive guru, supposedly. Obviously, with the Lions, he did just fine. I'm curious if the Bears are cursed or if Ben Johnson turns it around.
Yep.
I'm not sold one way or another yet.
Yeah. Is he a better coordinator than a coach?
Yes.
Head coach.
And that part of it it's tripped up people in the past.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll be the one to get tripped up by it or not.
Yep.
Then at the end of this list, you have the AFC West coaches, Harbaugh, Carroll, and Peyton. I don't hate the idea of Pete Carroll winning it.
Yeah.
And the only reason is he has Geno Smith back as quarterback. He knows what he's getting there.
Young running back, Genty.
Young running back.
Yep.
Just like he had Marshawn Lynch. Maybe he can make that same thing work again.
Big leader on defense.
Yep, big leader on defense. He can.
Great tight end.
It's he might not have the Legion of Boom like he did in Seattle, but he's got pieces there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's too senile enough yet to not be able to put it together. But if he's got gum in his mouth, I think he's got a breath and pep in his step.
I think just his hustle is worth 4 or 5 more wins.
Yeah, and with how the Chargers did last year, I think it's hard for Jim Harbaugh to win that because they kind of finished just as mediocre as you can. Make the playoffs and blow it to the Texans like they do. Sean Payton, they made it to the playoffs last year.
Kind of already done it, right?
Kind of already done it.
Yeah. So unless he makes the next big jump,
it's going to be hard to win that, right?
It's going to be hard to win that.
That's kind of where the odds start falling till Kyle Shanahan's after that.
Yeah.
49ers did kind of fizzle out last year.
Yeah.
That might be a sneaky pick.
Could be a comeback, yeah.
I think the sneaky pick, I'm going to go Kyle Shanahan at these odds at plus 1,600.
I buy that.
But I'm going to buy Vrabel.
Yeah. Yep.
No, don't have to be amazing. Just have to do enough to make that leap.
Yep. No, I think that's good. Those are good picks.
How about you?
I definitely am going with the Vrabel pick. No doubt about it. And I like the Kyle Shanahan one as a sleeper, too.
And, it's far enough down there. That Niners team's not terribly different.
No.
Little different, but they just got to stay healthy.
Yep.
And they'll be fine, I think.
Exactly.
And watch me be dead wrong about that. It's just turmoil in the Bay Area, but who knows? Nevertheless,
we got one last one.
Yeah.
Comeback player.
Oh, shit. Yes, of course. How could I forget about that?
That's all right. Well, they're still coming back, so it's not there yet.
Right. I was already late.
No worries.
There we go. Okay. Comeback player of the year.
Yes, sir.
No wonder I was a little behind on that. We got Dak Prescott, Aiden Hutchinson, Christian McCaffrey, Trevor Lawrence, J.J. McCarthy, and Rashee Rice. J.J. McCarthy being on that list is kind of hilarious. Is that really a comeback?
Not when you haven't done anything yet.
He kind of got hurt his rookie season before it even happened.
Yeah, I don't see how that can
This is kind of his official rookie season.
Yeah, you have to have done something to come back.
I agree.
Got to do something, then go down, then come back.
Yeah.
That's the definition of come back.
He's
just back.
He's back. This will be another controversial thing that happens this year where what does this award really mean?
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, Aiden Hutchinson definitely sparked my interest out of the gate. This one I'm buying the favorites.
And again, Christian McCaffrey as well. Those are three strong, all three of those guys.
Yeah.
And McCaffrey was out the whole year.
It's true.
He never even started.
Yeah.
I mean, if you remember that, I drafted him.
Right, because it was supposed to be he'd be back, and all of a sudden both of his legs are in half.
Yeah, and after the preseason, he just never started.
Yeah.
Dak played part of the year.
Hutchinson got through a few games.
He did, didn't he?
A couple at least.
So
before, he never was able to return in time.
So in terms of the biggest comeback, you'd probably say McCaffrey.
If he put up the right numbers.
Right.
Now, Dak Prescott's got George Pickens.
He does.
The disruptor.
That is the reason why I'm going with Dak as the comeback player of the year.
I would have to agree. I think Aiden Hutchinson has an amazing year. But defense is just hard, I think.
Yeah.
It's hard to win that as a defensive player. No slight to him, no shade thrown. The Lions have my love.
Just don't get the opportunity to flash like a running back or a quarterback.
Lord knows if there's a quarterback in this race, it's going to be a quarterback.
Yeah.
And what was it, Joe Flacco and DeMar Hamlin last year, 2 years ago, and Joe Flacco won it?
Right.
So I just fully believe that there's a quarterback option. Most of the time, they're going to go with the quarterback. And that's what scares me with the rookie offensive player of the year, but that's a whole different story. I'm going to go Dak as well, strictly off of you just have that opportunity to throw for 400 yards in a game. And Dak Prescott, say what you want about what you get in the playoffs. Regular season, they will have that opportunity to throw that many, and Lord only knows.
One last thing on my list to do, and that is, we talked about it being our 82nd episode.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't name favorite players, but I do have one for this. He didn't start with the Cowboys. He started with the Houston Oilers.
Oh.
And I was a big fan of his 7 years before he came to Dallas. But in like the mid-'80s, 84, somewhere in there, the Cowboys picked him up. And Mike Renfro was a fantastic, probably 5'10", 5'11" guy, nothing special.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy ran great routes and caught everything that came his way. Almost made you think a little bit of Cole Beasley or somebody but a little taller.
Yeah.
And, man, he was fantastic. I love the guy.
Hell yeah.
So during the mid-'80s, he was there and helped them win some games.
He was the man.
Yep. How about you?
Mike Renfro?
Mike Renfro.
Okay. 82. I don't really have anybody for 82, and that's okay because you're the book of knowledge. I should have someone for 83.
83.
Sincerely, there should be a player throughout the years on the Chargers that I remember for 83.
We might have a big thing to talk about next episode.
We might. We'll have to see who wins and who goes from there. Don't forget, comment 4 things that changed, $50 value from the merch store, and I think that's it.
Look forward to next week.
Hell yeah. Everyone have a great, safe week, and we'll see you all next week on the Coy Pond. Peace.